Guys, before we get started, I want you to know that this video is more like a journey type of vlog where I take you guys through my whole experience in losing the weight. However, if you want to skip to the part where you hear all about the success and how I did it, then you have to go to the end where I talk about my overall story. But I'll put a little timestamp link that you guys can click to jump there. But other than that, enjoy. Hey guys, this is going to be my first weight loss related video. I've never been in a place in my life where I actually was serious about losing weight up until now. So I think it'll be pretty interesting to bring you guys along on this journey, my very first weight loss journey. I mean, I'm not looking to lose like, 50 to 100 pounds or anything like that. But I think regardless, that like mental challenge and physical challenge it will still be recognized and shown in this video. My weapon of choice will be calorie counting, and I've kind of come around to this because I exercise pretty regularly. I go to the gym almost every single day, and I was like, how is it that I'm upping the amount of gym hours that I do and the workouts that I do, but I'm seeing no change in my body besides obviously like gaining more muscle? I think what I came to realize is that no matter how much working out I do and how many calories I burn, I wasn't burning enough to offset the amount of calories I was taking in, because I eat a lot and I really like to eat. I snack all day long. I probably overeat for what my body is, and I started to recognize the pounds coming onto my stomach, onto my face, onto my arms, onto my thighs, and I was like, I'm not really happy with the way that I look. So I'm hoping that calorie counting will move the needle for me and get me off of this plateau, so that I recognize how much I'm eating and what I'm putting into my body. So I downloaded MyFitnessPal and I put in my weight. I'm currently 110 and I want to go down to probably 105 or maybe a little bit lower than that. And I know to a lot of people that sounds really scary, but I'm only like 5'3"-ish, and I don't really believe that the scale actually says much, because when I was my most fit, like I was really toned, I was the right size that I was looking for, I was actually my heaviest. I was 113, and I know it's because muscle weighs more than fat, so you can actually be heavier but more lean because muscle is smaller than fat, obviously. So I'm not too worried about the scale. It's just kind of a point of reference for me, but I do just want to look at my body and feel like I have the shape that I once did. So on MyFitnessPal, I've set it up to lose 2 pounds per week approximately over a span of a month, so around 10 pounds. I know that that's going to be not the actuality, but I just want to set it at that. So that gave me my calorie intake of 1,200 a day. I went ahead and put in what I ate on a regular day, and I was at about 2,500 to 3,000 calorie intake a day, which is crazy because I can tell you I'm not burning that many calories a day. So I think that you can imagine that cutting down more than 50% of my calorie intake per day is going to be really tough for me, but I'm up for the challenge. So let's go. Oh, I think it'd be good to show you guys, I guess, where I'm at right now. So I know I'm not like fat or anything like that. It'd be silly to say so, but I think I do have like, some pudge, as you can see, pokey poke poke. And I'm a lot wider in the waist than I would like to be. I would love to have a smaller waist and maybe get rid of these muffin tops right here. From the side view, and then on my arms, I just feel like they're a little bit chubbier than what I am used to, essentially. So day one, already off to not a great start. I mean, it's a long weekend, so I took out my bacon yesterday, but I didn't look at a calorie count. It is 230 calories per 2 slices. That's a lot. And I didn't realize that toast was 100 frickin' calories per slice. 100 per slice. That's crazy. So just 2 slices of bacon on toast, that's already 300 and something calories, which is already almost a third of what I'm supposed to be eating for the day. It's really hard. So yeah, I'm gonna eat the bacon this morning, but I'm gonna try to have a smaller, lighter meal later today. I'm already planning on eating a salad, so hopefully that will help. But I need to check how many calories are in that salad. So I just found out on my app that I can actually scan everything. So I don't need to plug it in manually, which is a lot more easier to use. So, oh fuck there. So that I can just scan things and then it automatically adds the calorie count. Huh. I love apple juice, but it's 110 calories pretty much per cup. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go about and eat and drink what I kind of would naturally, just to see how much calories I typically intake, but wow, it's really eye-opening. So just my breakfast alone was 600 calories, which is already over half the amount that I'm supposed to be eating a day. This is gonna be a really long day. Okay, so my Dole Southwest salad that I love, it's like a taco salad, it says that it is 130 calories, but per 100 grams. This salad is 300 grams. So that's, do the math, 390 calories. Oh, this is gonna be hard. The first few days will be really hard because I've never looked at calories before. So I think the first few days will be looking at what I usually eat and recognizing how many calories are in each item that I typically eat. So I'm about to go to sleep, and this is when I would typically have like my midnight snackaroonie. And I really know that I shouldn't. But I'm gonna let myself have 2 berries. I really like these golden berries. I'm gonna have 2 berries and 1 hot Cheeto chip. Just one. Okay? I think that's okay. I mean, I know I shouldn't. But it's so hard. It's so hard. All I could think about all day was food. It was so hard. Okay, just one. Like, I'm gonna pick a good one. I have to pick a nice, okay, this one's good. 1. Okay, that's it. And then 2 berries, and that's it. 1. Hopefully that will be enough for me to at least fall asleep. I have a really hard time falling asleep if I'm hungry. I've tried to go to bed hungry before. When I was intermittent fasting, I would stop eating around 8 o'clock. It was really hard because every time I went to bed hungry, I just could not fall asleep. So I would have to get up and like eat a little bit of something in order for me to fall asleep. Okay, so I am done for my day 1, and you know what? It wasn't successful per se, but I'm not mad at myself about it, especially being that it was the first day doing this. I really wanted to just understand, like, you know, what calories or how many calories are in the foods that I typically eat, and like that was really eye-opening to me. For example, like this is something I would typically eat, and it's already 600 calories. I went over by almost 100, but because I gained some points for exercise, meaning that I burned off some calories, they gave me some extra. I am only left with about going over by 80 calories, which is not that bad for the first time. I think so anyways. I'm not going to be that hard on myself because I don't want to destroy myself, but I have to admit that today was really hard. I spent the entire day thinking about food, and I think what made it worse was that I didn't really have too much to do today, so I spent a lot of time, you know, I just had a lot of free time to be thinking about food. I spent probably the entire day just thinking about food, how hungry I was, calories, and all of that stuff. It was so weird to be that conscious. I think on a busier day, like on a weekday, it'll be a lot easier because I'll have other things to be doing. I won't be thinking about food too much. Oh, the only thing I didn't add was my 2 golden berries and my 1 hot Cheeto because I couldn't, everything was measured in ounces and I don't have a scale. So I'm going to buy a food scale on Amazon right now so that I can start measuring or weighing out my food so I can be more accurate. So I guess technically I did go over this a little bit more. Complete the diary for today. Yes. Okay, it's yesterday because it's 12 now. Every day we're like today, you'd weigh 107 in 5 weeks, which is not bad. I think my goal was 103 and I currently weigh 110. I think what I've learned is that it's a lot easier to either cook things yourself or go to places that have calorie counts, because it's hard to say for things that I ate out that I don't have calorie counts for. So for the first time ever so far, I've actually come in today with calories remaining, which is good, I think. Yeah, I thought I was gonna come in way over, but I didn't. But I think I'm gonna have just maybe a berry or 2 and then go to sleep. And what I found out, which was awesome, is that Rice Krispie squares only 90 calories per square. So I didn't deal with really any like hunger pains at all today when I did for the past 2 days. I kept dealing with really bad hunger pains in my stomach. Okay, interestingly enough, it's actually 4 p.m. now and I haven't eaten anything and I haven't really been hungry, which is weird. Last night I went to bed and I was kind of hungry, but then I woke up this morning and I've been busy doing work and I just have had no desire to eat, so maybe my fasting window can be a little bit larger, but it's 4 p.m. Figured that I should eat even though I'm not that hungry, but it's nice to know that my body kind of got used to, you know, not having as much food in there. I know some people were encouraging me to fast for more hours, so typically I only eat between the hours of 12 and 8 and I don't eat any other time beyond that, but people are telling me to fast even shorter amount of windows, so we'll be only eating for 6 hours or 4 hours, which I found really hard because I'm like, I'm gonna just be hungry all the time. But now that it's 4 o'clock and I still haven't eaten, that's, I don't know how many, I can't calculate that quickly, but yeah, that's a lot of hours that I've been fasting already, so maybe I can do it. It's just a matter of like getting used to the fact. Anyways, I'm going to eat now, and I figured that tuna is actually very low cal, and I love tuna, so that works out for me. Canned tuna, it's really easy. It only is 60 calories per half of a I think portion, and then the QP mayo that I really like. I don't like regular mayo, but I like QP mayo. QP mayo is only 100, I mean not only, it's still a lot, but less than regular mayo. It's 100 per tablespoon, which is enough for me to create actually a whole portion, or whole 2 servings, so I can cut that in half. Okay, let's do that. Alright guys, today was a pretty good day. I even got to fit in some bubble tea with some calories remaining, which is lit. I found 2 really key learnings today. So firstly, my first meal of the day, I need to have something of a low cal option because I tend to eat my higher calorie meals later on in the day, and that's when I'm eating like more food or feel hungrier, or I want something that's just like, you know, more, that stuff that has more calories. That allowed me quite a bit of room for dinner, although my dinner actually didn't end up being that much. This is probably not exact because I went out for dinner and I just kind of guesstimated you know, what was in my meal and how much of it, but I only ate half of my dinner, so most of everything is half. I had enough to do a really small bubble tea. Like I had bubble tea that was only about 12 ounces. Luckily the place that we went to does super small bubble teas, and it was good enough to satisfy what I was looking for. I left a little bit of extra room today because I couldn't account for all the sauces that were in my dinner. I wasn't able to account for everything. There's a bunch of different sauces, so I want to leave a couple 100 calories just in case there were any sauces in there to account for that. Super exciting. I did my first weigh-in since starting, and it's been 10 days since I started this, and I am on track because I was set to lose, let me sit down. I was set to lose 2 pounds per week, and it's been 10 days and I've lost 2.5 pounds, so I'm exactly on track. This shit works as long as you stay committed to doing something to stay consistent. And there's some days where I go over, but then there's some days where I go under, and there's some days where I go over and then exercise a little bit more. It's just about like keeping that around that consistent rate, I think. I don't slave myself to the number because I still want to enjoy myself, especially on the weekends when I'm going out to eat with friends and whatnot. I don't really like fully count my calories when I go out to eat unless they have a cal count. But yeah, the other night I went out for dinner with some friends. I didn't count my calories, but I just ate more consciously. Like I checked how much deep fried pickles typically are, and then I just like kind of worked within that. So I just go for the average and work within that amount, and then knowing that I was going out, I would just eat a way lighter calorie breakfast or lunch, so I saved myself more time later on. And sometimes what I'll do is also I will just populate things. So I went out for sushi the other night with some friends, and I already started to put together my cal count. I put like sushi sashimi, sushi salmon. You can find those things easily on FitnessPal because it shows you the average calorie of all that stuff. So I would just kind of put in the average, and then in my mind I mentally knew around how much I was able to eat. So within my cal count I was able to have like 5 pieces of sashimi and like 5 pieces of sushi or whatever it may be. So I got a food scale, and it's been really great at like portioning out my snacks and whatnot, because I can pre-allocate it into my app, so that I know like how much I'm setting myself to eat for the day. So for tomorrow, I can pretty much plan my whole day because I know what I'm eating for lunch already. I can put the calories in, and then I can start to put in the snacks, and then I'll know how much I have left for dinner, kind of just like pre-plan, so that I feel like I know, you know, what I'm going in and eating tomorrow, rather than just like rummaging around for food. Look how easy this makes it. So basically, I just will click snacks here, and then I'll click the barcode scanner right here, and then I can scan these cherries. So this barcode is at the bottom of this cherry thing. Boop. Okay, I just scanned it, and it pulled it right up. So I just turned on my food scale. I put this on here, and then all I have to do is click it again. Brings it back to 0, and then I start plopping in my cherries. So how much do I feel like eating now? So that's 3.6 ounces. So I just go into my app, and then I do 3.6 ounces, and it calculates out to 39 calories. This and the food scale has helped my snacking habits get a lot better. Last week, I had a pretty bad week when it came to staying under my calorie count. Reason being, last week I had a lot of events. I had an event almost every single night. And if not an event, then I was eating out with my friends because we had plans. So the hardest thing is definitely events, because you cannot control what's going to be there. And I don't want to deprive myself of enjoying things at events. So, you know, I don't want to beat myself up for eating at events. So I'm okay with that. But I just have to then own up to the fact that it's going to backtrack my success, or I guess my rate that I'm losing weight at. I actually put on back some of the weight. Last time I checked with you guys, I lost 2.5 pounds. Now I'm back to around like 108, 109. So I did put back on a little bit of weight, probably because of the bad eating last week. It was pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. I went over almost every single day of last week. But hey, I'm not upset about it, because I know like I enjoyed myself. I went out with my friends, I got to go to events, so I enjoyed myself. I'm not mad about it at all, because I just managed the expectation myself, knowing that I wasn't going to see the continued progress that I was hoping for. But yeah, this week I prepped myself really well. I went to the grocery store, I bought veggies, I bought fruits, because those are two things that have like so least amount of carbs and fill me up. So like I get this like veggie platter, and this veggie platter, like, you know, 3 carrots is like less than like 10 calories or something like that, and I can get full off of like 3 to 5 carrots. Well, not full, but like in between snacks, so I'm not snacking on other things. Parfaits are my new thing, because parfaits are really low cal. You can make a really great parfait for under 200 calories, and that will fill me up really well. So I bought some more yogurt, I bought some fruits, I bought some granola, low-cal granola, and I will be spending my week making some parfaits. You just have to kind of find things that you like that are low-calorie. Just being more conscious of the grocery store, looking at how much things are. Like when I went to go look for granola, there's a bunch of really unhealthy options, and then some options that were a lot less in calorie, and I'd rather buy those. So once you find your groove as to like which low-cal foods you like, it's really easy to work around it. I think so. It was only just the going out and the events that was hard for me. I made this bowl yesterday, which the whole thing, I'll show you in comparison to my hand, like it's a pretty big bowl. This whole thing is really deep too. Was about 500 calories ish, but it was so filled with so many things that just make you full, that I only ate half of it yesterday. So that means my whole lunch yesterday was only like 250 calories, which is a really low cal lunch. So once you start to find items that you understand that are low calorie but really filling, that's when it gets a lot easier. Guys, today is the day that I hit my weight loss goal! Swear Mio was happy for me, right Mio Chio? I'm sorry if my makeup is messed up. I honestly just haven't really looked at it all day. But today, I stepped on the scale, and to my surprise, the scale read 101.5 pounds. It's actually a little bit more than I wanted to lose. I wanted to get to around 102 or 103. That was my goal. But you know what? apparently I'm an overachiever, and I got to 101.5, which actually puts me at basically losing almost exactly 10 pounds. It took me a whole month more than I had initially planned. However, you know, doing that in 2 months I don't think is that bad, considering I wanted my change to be gradual. I wasn't looking to lose a ton of weight, so I wasn't in any rush. However, now that I really have a routine, I think it would actually be a lot easier for me if I wanted to continue to lose weight, which I don't. But if I want to continue to lose weight, it would be a lot easier at this point. So what my plan is, now that I've lost the weight of fat, I'm going to gain weight again, but with muscle. So I've lost the fat weight, I want to now gain the muscle weight, because muscle actually weighs more than fat. So I do expect my number to go up to about like 105 to 110 in that area, but I want to be toned muscle rather than the fat. And I visibly see my stomach is a lot flatter than it was when I first started this journey, so I'm really happy about that. I actually lost about 3 pounds within a week, and that's the fastest I've lost so far in my entire journey. Throughout my whole journey I was losing, you know, about a pound a week or so, but in this last sprint of a week, I think it's because I really got into my routine a lot better, I managed to lose 3 whole freaking pounds. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the routine that I've kind of really found for myself. So I don't eat until after 12:30 or 1 o'clock. So I kind of pair calorie counting with minute fasting. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I eat between the hours of like 12:31-ish to about like 8 p.m, 9 p.m. Now mind you, I wake up at around 7:30 in the morning, so I'm going for quite a while without eating until 12 o'clock. And how I've really gotten myself to feel good about that is drinking tea. I sip green tea throughout that entire morning, and I don't feel hungry at all, like at all. I don't feel hungry until around like 12:30. That's when I start to feel hungry. And I've noticed on the days that I forget to drink green tea in the morning, I get hungry around like 10 or 11 o'clock. So it makes a huge difference in prolonging your appetite. When I eat my lunch around 1 o'clock, I eat it slowly. Typically I like do work and eat at the same time, so that it slows down my eating. And then I'll finish my meal around like, let's say 2 o'clock. I won't be hungry until around 6 or 7, and that's when I'll eat again my dinner. And then I'll have like a small fruit snack at around like 8 or 9, just to make sure that I don't go to bed hungry. Within my routine, I typically gear towards having a smaller calorie lunch. I like to have a lunch that's anywhere between 3 to 550 calories, somewhere in that range, because I typically find that the foods that I eat for dinner are a lot higher calories. So I just leave extra room for more calories for dinner. The key thing for me that helped a lot when my body wasn't used to eating such a small amount was strawberries. Strawberries are low calorie but really fill you up. Strawberries and apples really fill you up, and they're really low calorie. So if in the middle of the day you're feeling kind of hungry, you know, eat a couple strawberries. It's like, you know, less than 30 calories of like a good handful of strawberries, and you will be good and continue your day. And I always have water or something for me to continuously sip throughout the day. That's how I don't get hungry. My biggest challenge was the fact that I go out to eat a lot. I also go out to a lot of events, and those two things put calorie counting outside of my control, and it also just puts a lot of food in front of me, so it's not controlled portions that I'm looking at. I had really bad habits where at events, when there was free food, I would just stuff myself, because I was like, free food, I'ma freaking eat it all, and I would just stuff myself and eat way too much, and I would feel so stuffed afterwards. Even when I go out with my friends to eat, I always felt like whatever was served to me, I wanted to make sure I ate it all. Or if I ordered with friends and we ordered multiple things, you know, you just keep eating and eating and eating. And I was just so used to every single time I went out to eat or I went to an event, at the end of the meal I would feel so stuffed, like really full, to the point where I'm like, it almost hurts how stuffed I am. And you know, I realized that that's just not the life I should live. It's also not healthy. It was really bad for my digestive system as well. So my digestive system has also improved now that I'm eating, you know, more content amounts for my body. But on the days that I know that I have dinner plans or I'm going out, I'll make sure to have a really low calorie lunch. So I try to keep it under 400 calories so that I have ample calorie space for whatever I want to eat later on in the nighttime. And then you really just have to train your body to not overeat. Like, you just have to start saying no and stopping yourself from eating once you start to feel not hungry anymore. Don't wait until you feel full. Just stop when you don't feel hungry anymore, because it takes your body 20 minutes to recognize that you're full. So if I feel hungry, I would go eat, and then I would eat until that hunger feeling went away, and then I would stop. Because previously I used to eat until I felt full, and then I would end up just stuffing myself. So eat until you just don't feel hunger anymore, and that will help you control from not overeating. And once you do calorie counting for a while, you start to visualize how much 500 to 700 calories looks like visually. So when I go out to dinner, I can kind of tell, you know, how many calories ish I've been eating by looking at the meal, looking at its portion size and whatnot. So that helps too once you learn to visualize that. And then once my body had familiarized myself with what it felt like to be like content instead of stuffed full, that's when I really made strides in being able to go out to eat and not go over calorie counts. And my battery ran out on my camera, and I want to continue letting you guys know that train of thought. Recognizing that feeling made a huge difference. So for example, like I told you guys, this past week I lost 3 pounds. That's more than I've ever lost in a week before. And I went out to eat like multiple times in the past week, but I never stuffed myself. I just ate until I felt content, and then I stopped, let my friends eat other things, and pack up my meal. I now very, very often pack up half my meal and bring it home for me to eat for lunch the next day. So that's also something that you can easily hold yourself to, is like when you go out, just allow yourself to eat half of your dinner and then always take the other half to go. So that is my journey. I hope you guys found this like realistic and helpful. I know it's not as organized as giving you a list of tips, but I want to kind of give you guys tips as I experience things so that it wasn't just bullshit and you guys could see what I was going through. But I'm happy now to start hitting the weights again. I haven't done weight training in a while. Haven't really worked out this much. I was only doing yoga, but yoga doesn't help me lose weight. I'm happy to be weight training again and getting some muscle back on, so I will be growing in the scale, but in muscle form and not in fat. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them below. I will be more than happy to answer them. And yeah, talk to you guys soon.